long before the big day. Stories run wild in the craziest way. From Vegas nights to beach town vibes, we're laughing your party, you're in for a ride. Bachelor mayhem, city lights glow. Wild adventures, let the good times roll. Planet tips, crazy trips, we've got the guide for the ultimate party. No thrill denied.
Hello and happy 4th of July, everybody. Woohoo! 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July, Independence Day.
America, we salute you.
Cheers.
Cheers. So fun thing, we got Drunken Suits coming at you again. We're knocking out some episodes right now.
We're on a roll. We're still having fun too. So, loving doing this. I hope you guys are enjoying. If you
Yeah.
want to see a location, let us know. If you want to be on the podcast, hit us up. We're having fun. Hope you guys are enjoying. Let's kick it off today.
Well, if this is your first time joining in, I'm Bobby Carlson,
I'm Will Kroboth.
and this is Drunken Suits. We talk about different cities across America, what they have to offer for bachelor parties, what's unique about them, and what different kind of things they offer for a bachelor party. And then we get into some interviews, some crazy stories, some good times, and some of our research that leads us down some different paths. Yeah, let us know. Let us know if you have one story of your own or a city that you want to hear about. Even if you're starting to think about planning one down the road, let us know because we will help you with some of that research. So today, though, we're going maybe not the craziest one in the world, but it's definitely a fun city. It's 4th of July, which is pretty awesome. Really excited. We got the drinks flowing in us already, and we're ready to talk about Traverse City, Michigan.
Woo woo.
Woo woo. Yeah, Traverse City, Michigan. I think before this research, I brought it up to you, Kroboth, and you've never heard about it.
I knew it was a city, but I've never.
Sure.
I didn't know any background of what to do, where it really even was within the state of Michigan. So that was the
Yeah.
extent of my knowledge.
Well, I'm gonna throw up a map right now.
Boom.
Okay. That's where it lies. It's right on Lake Michigan. It is the cherry capital of the world.
Yeah. I thought that was like an allusion to like maybe a drug reference or something. No, they actually mean like cherries that you eat, that
Yeah.
like the fruit.
There is a huge festival every year when it's like that perfect time to pick the cherries. There's this huge festival. You can't walk down the streets or drive because it is just packed there. It's a huge thing that draws in a bunch of people. Traverse City, though, it necessarily wasn't so great all that long ago, and it is on a come up right now. It is growing in population, it is growing in young professionals going there, and it's growing in things to do. So that kind of sparks the talk for bachelor parties to come, when nicer restaurants are getting put in, more activities to go in, and just a little safer location. So pretty cool. Average age there is around 42 right now, kind of a family-esque. And there's only 15,000 people in Traverse City, but the surrounding area is kind of 33,000. But do you know what the population is in when it's summertime?
I don't have a specific number, but I know that this is a very seasonally dependent area.
Very. So it goes from 15,000 people, which is like the average for Traverse City. In the summer, it goes to 234,000 people.
So what is that? That's just like anti-snowbird. Like that's the opposite, right? People be traveling in there for the
Anti-snowbird.
summer, right? That's your summer house.
Yeah.
So we talking like this must be a second home. So there might be,
Yeah.
yeah, like you're saying, there
I
might
think
be some
there's some money
decent
there.
amount of money there. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it's a really cool spot. So a reason I brought this up to Crowbuck for the viewer, I went there on a work trip. Someone I previously worked with owns a house there. Invited our group to come up there. We got to experience some parts of Traverse City. Really cool things to do. It's a beautiful little town, but I think one of the coolest things about it, it's got Lake Michigan right there, which is just gorgeous.
Yeah, looking it up, just seeing some of these pictures, man, it is pretty beautiful. I had no
Yeah.
idea like the Great Lakes could be, this kind of natural
Great.
beauty. So I know it looks like an ocean, right? But it's a lake. It's just so cool. So
Didn't know it could be that great.
yeah, yeah. For the state of Michigan,
State of Michigan. Yeah, I feel like who's from who? All right, what singer am I thinking of right now that's from Michigan?
Oh, Kid Rock.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Absolutely.
sir.
Shout out Homa.
Shout out Homa. Shout out Fourth of July. Shout out America. Let's go. um, but dude, yeah, Michigan's very seasonal. July and August, prime times to visit Traverse City. That's when the lake gets, you know, warm enough to go in. I wouldn't say it's warm, but it's warm enough to be swimming in and enjoying, taking boats out, whatever you want. For as far as bachelor parties go, it's pretty reasonably affordable. What's going to be costing is flights in and then transportation once you get from wherever you're flying to right into it. Then there is an airport right in Traverse City, which isn't bad. Then that's weird that we just both fixed our hats at the same time, but it's cool.
The only listeners are going to be very confused by that.
Very confused. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I saw the overall cost of existing there is kind of like 5% below the average, so that's kind of cool.
Nice.
Also noteworthy that it's very safe, right? Like I thought 33% lower on the average crime scale than the United States average, so that's definitely a pro.
And I think that's a big part of the turnaround of Traverse City and the growing population with younger professionals coming in to Traverse City and turning it into more of a family esque too. That's going to create more of a safer environment as well. So that's always a good thing to know for bachelor parties, knowing coming in that you're going somewhere that is safer and you're not going to get jumped and stuff. So I think that's pretty cool. Should we get
Let
into some of
me
the things?
let me jump in here quick before we get into
Yeah.
that. So just from my research, like I said, I've had minimal knowledge prior to this, have never been there. From what it seemed, it feels like it's more of like a historic downtown area with kind of like restored buildings, but then also food and like wine heavy, more just like wholesome kind of area. That's the vibe I got, but I'm interested to see somebody who has been there. Is that true or what?
I think you're spot on. Yep. I think that wholesome, but I think it's also one of the biggest parts is people get active when it's warm. I found that definitely when I lived in Chicago for a bit that when when the weather turns nicer and you can come out of that hibernation state, it's just like people are out like on weekdays and everything. People are going to the beaches and playing volleyball. People are up at the bars on rooftops. Like it's if you can get out, they get out, which is very cool. um I think I like that a whole lot. Like I know I went from a brewery tour to a rooftop to going playing sand volleyball, so it's kind of a cool concept for sure.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was
I
on a Tuesday or something, so yeah. Yeah.
amazing how things are put into perspective when they're taken away for about 6 months of the year, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do
Oh yeah.
in this smaller town. Um, do you want to take off the first one?
Yeah. So first one of super cool things I thought was just awesome. Again, hand up, I am biased. I do love beaches a ton. So this is like Sleeping Bear Dunes I saw. Looked so cool. Definitely not your traditional beach, but they have these like massive sand dunes, which from some of the pictures look like a 45-degree, maybe more drop down to where you get to the water. And then once
Yeah.
you're down there, you can do your variety of water sports in the lake. So I thought that looked super cool. Just looking at those pictures, I was like in awe. I was like, wow, this is something very unique. I don't know where else you would see that.
But with that being said, there's other beaches that don't have the dunes that are you wouldn't know it's not, saltwater. It's a freshwater beach that's a real beach. It's got waves, it's got sand, it's got everything. But with those dunes being said, not far away, its neighbor, Indiana, also touching the Lake Michigan there. In Indiana, there's the national park for the one dune that goes to the water, and it's like dangerous for people. It's like some kind of big fine if you have to get rescued. My older brother Mitch, that was on the last episode, he went there, but it's like going down's pretty easy, but it's still a hike, and then you're gonna burn your legs a little bit coming up because it's a good stretch of land. Very cool to check it out. But we're talking about Traverse City here. But those dunes, it's just from what you're saying, just made me think of that.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. That was something too, kind of unique. I think maybe unique to the Great Lakes, but it seems like there's a lot of beaches, and you don't think of a lake having a beach. At least I don't. So,
Yeah,
like you said, I definitely saw a lot of different beach locations there. And I love a good beach day, so
yeah.
that's right up
For
my alley.
anybody that hasn't seen a Great Lake yet, it will blow your mind. These Great Lakes, I mean, you can't see across them. It's not a normal lake. Like there's full freighters going by. Like it is huge. It is so big, and it blows my mind that it is all freshwater, and it's crystal clear water. Like when you're in there, it is crystal clear. It blows my mind completely. Blows my mind. Um, Absolutely cool. Those beaches, I think, are such a draw in there, especially for anybody like in the Midwest and anybody that's traveling. Like Michigan is part of the Midwest, obviously, but for a beach, that's a really good spot to go. That you don't have to go, to the edges of America.
Yeah, and I guess that's relevant to bring up. Then I can see why the summer season is the premier season there, right?
Hmm.
These outdoor activities um, seem kind of be the highlight of the area, and Michigan, especially the northern part of the lower peninsula, but like Michigan in general can get pretty cold and pretty snowy. So
Yeah,
I'm starting to get a better understanding and appreciation for that seasonal dependence.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about the Poconos in our last episode, and they make the most of the winter, but we're going a bit more north than that, and it's just a different cold, when you're hitting that single digit degrees and wind chill, especially wind chill coming off the lake, and especially the lake picking up and dumping snow. Then it's a whole different character out there. But I want to talk about that water a little bit more. So there's boat rentals that you can get. So for a bachelor party, getting pontoons or whatever, it's awesome. You could do water sports or whatever. But when I went there for our trip, now we're not, a bachelor party. We did a work thing, but it was a bunch of I want to say around 10 guys and two or three females with us, and then there's some other people, and we got a catamaran. And on this catamaran, it's awesome. The front, the mesh, and everything, and you're standing around, sitting around, and they have a bar right on it, and it's a sunset just around like the Bay Area of Traverse City that it's in, and it's gorgeous. I mean, it's just so gorgeous, so awesome. Drinking, you get to see Traverse City lit up a little bit. Like it's awesome. It's really really cool. And I would, a bachelor party, I could see, whatever you want to do, but this I would recommend getting that kind of boat or a whole day out there on a boat is great.
So, would you say that was kind of like the highlight of the trip for you, or oh no,
No.
you even got more? Okay,
Oh no, so we did a bunch. We did a lot of different stuff. It was like
let's
a
hear
work
about it. We'll do a
retreat kind of thing.
little pop up interview here, makeshift interview with
Okay,
Bobby.
makeshift. I like it. Um, I think the highlight of our trip, it was something when I'm representing them here just to show off here.
Okay, okay.
But this is kayak, bike, and brew. So
Nice.
it was really cool. It was a brewery tour. We stopped at three different breweries. So the first one, we bike about a mile, get off the bikes. I get a flight, just pop, 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 pop. Get back on the bike, and then we go to like the bay side, and like in this little canal, we get in kayaks, and we kayak up this like river stream kind of thing, get out right by this tree, tie up all the kayaks, walk into another brewery, pop, 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 get some more drinks in us. Really good beer there too. There's a bunch of breweries around. I think I saw on my research there's about 10 breweries around, but we only went to three of them. And then we get out, we get back on the kayaks, go back to the bikes, bike to the next stop then, and that's where we like finish up then, and it's the last brewery. We get some food there too, just so fun. Like I like that active. You feel so bloated because you just put down so much beer and these like heavy stuff, but it's so much fun. So much fun. I think that was really cool. I think this is a newer business too, which I would recommend. Everybody that worked there was so professional. It was so much fun. We had a tour guide with us, like telling us where to go and stuff, and guiding us, helping us in and out of kayaks, and it was awesome. I really think it was awesome.
I mean, you know that we love brewing on this podcast, but does that also count? Can we call it biking? Is that a thing? I don't know.
I think that's gonna get us arrested. If people
Also,
start drinking on
the
bikes.
kayak that didn't really work anatomically with the wording. Kayak bike, yeah, no, all right.
There's gonna be some 21-year-old. I heard it on Drunken Suits that I could have this beer while I bike, and he's gonna get
We
a
do not
DUI.
condone any
Yeah,
sort of drinking and driving on this podcast whatsoever. Just throwing
except
the
a kayak.
caveat out there.
but
All right, changing
but
off of
this
that
was
topic.
awesome. This was awesome. I'd highly recommend it to anybody out there.
Yeah. Well, so you're bringing up the breweries, right? That is one thing I definitely found just doing my research was it seems like not well breweries, right, but also wine
Yeah,
and distilleries. Definitely wine though a ton. So I mean, you probably know more. I'm not at all a wine connoisseur or anything, but the one thing
I'm
I
not a
did
wine
find that was
dinosaur either.
you're a dinosaur of wine.
I'm not a wine
Are you
dinosaur.
prehistoric?
Yes.
Um, yeah. Well, I just wanted to bring up. I thought one thing that was really cool, right? I mean, the area in general is just like it seems a pretty big wine region, but they made ice wine here. I thought that was super cool. So they pick the grapes while they're still frozen, and then I guess it has like a different flavor profile. Um, don't know anything beyond that, but I just saw that and thought that was very, very interesting.
So I know a little bit about that. So when we're all like flying in from different areas, so we would fly in, and then my boss just kind of made it a thing to let's just hop at some different wineries around, get a couple drinks in us, and kind of people meet us. And it was kind of just like a starting spot. It was like a wine tour, and this wasn't like a planned thing. I'm gonna recommend for bachelor parties out there that are doing wine tours, set up some kind of somebody that's going to be driving, because you're going to be drinking. It's there's plenty of tours out there, drivers and everything like that. Well, we didn't really do that. We're not talking about that, but but we kept meeting at these different wineries. I think what you're talking about is a frosé.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, a frozen rosé. So
Okay.
frosés are unbelievable. It's like a slushy that's wine.
Okay. So maybe I don't know. Maybe I
Frosé.
misunderstood. That does sound good though. I
Oh,
thought
unbelievably good. Yeah.
I was thinking from just what I was reading was that when like the time of year because it gets super cold there, right? They pick the grapes off of the vine when they're still frozen, and
Hmm.
then they like somehow process them mid frozen, and then it affects the fermentation. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't look too much into it, but
Yeah, no,
that's kind of
I
cool.
couldn't
Either
tell
way.
you. I couldn't tell you better. Uh, I thought you were talking about frosés, but if it's with the whole process, then I'm probably out on that. I don't know. I couldn't tell you something else.
No, but frosé
Um,
sounds dangerous, especially in the summer heat.
Dude, yeah, I mean, so as much as you're thinking, like Michigan, it's up north, it gets cold. When I was there, and I think it was August, maybe end of July or August, and it was probably pushing 100 that day. It was in the 90s for sure. A
Wow.
frosé hit hard, dude. It's good. It's real good. But these wineries, man, it's like a rolling hill that goes down into Lake Michigan. And it's just like each one, I was just like, this is maybe the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like it was just so cool to see. Absolutely.
Oh, that's cool. I love that. Um,
Yeah.
and then I mean breweries too, right? There's a good amount of those. I don't have any in specific. Any ones that you want to shout out here?
I don't have any. I think there's like 10 bigger ones around, and one was like Blue Ridge or something. Blue Blue Ridge Brewery.
Okay.
Um that's just sticking in my head, but I think it's something similar to that for all you beer guys out there. Yeah, Traverse City's got some cool ones around, so check into it. Um I think another thing we always talk about on bachelor parties, I'm going to bring up golf.
Yep.
There again, beautiful courses because Lake Michigan right there, beautiful kind of rolling hills and all this stuff. There's 30 public and championship courses around the area of Traverse City. Our group didn't get to go out golfing on that trip. We were a big golfing group, so it's different now. But it's there's courses all around, which is very cool.
Yeah, like you said, it's always a staple of a bachelor party, and can present a different challenge too with the being right next to the lake, either the winds or the rolling hills. That might be something unique for the golf aficionado.
Aficionado, what a word!
Broke out the dictionary for that one.
I don't know why. I don't maybe just ending in an O, but it just made me think espresso martini. Dude, those things hit hard
Oh
too.
my god, they
Maybe I'm
do.
just
They really
thirsty
do.
for some good cocktails in me.
Yeah, with espresso martinis, man. I just can't have them past like 6 p.m. Like that has to be a happy hour drink, or else I'm not gonna sleep that night.
Wrong. I will take them all night. It's great.
That's crazy.
Well, think
Oh,
about
okay.
drinks then. I was
Yeah,
gonna
I
go
was
into food.
perfect. Perfect. That works.
Ah, dude, we know each other too well. Um, so I'm just gonna say one thing on the food. There's one place that I really liked that we went on our trip. It was called the Little Fleet.
Ooh, okay.
Did you see that across your?
I did, but I want to hear from your perspective.
Okay, so it's kind of like this big square. It's almost like its own block, and it's all like food trucks and different other like little just like pop up food trucks, and then a bar in there as well. And sometimes they get live music in there and different stuff. I thought it was just really cool. I like that the people really use it as well. Like it's a popular area. It's pretty popular. It's good food too. Real good food.
Okay. Yeah, and I saw the one other thing there. It was very group friendly, so
Hmm.
large numbers of people is always good to consider, especially for a bachelor party. Um,
Absolutely. Yeah. Was there other food or anything else food wise that you found in Traverse City?
um, yeah. So I got kind of down the rabbit hole of like cherries for a little bit. I found
Okay.
the Cherry Hut. I guess that's like the go-to cherry pie spot. Um, I guess that's not you know dinner or whatever, but kind of it's a food item.
Mm.
Um, another one I found too that kept popping up. Now I might butcher the name is Trattoria Stella. Um, it was
You
like
got me. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It kept popping up. It was like farm to table kind of place. Seemed like more of a little more upscale, but seemed like a cornerstone kind of place in Traverse City here.
Yeah. Yeah, really cool. I think there's some really good restaurants. Like I said, like they're reamping everything. So you got your rooftop like restaurants and bars. You got really nice like steakhouses, and it's got everything you need there, really. So I think it's a good place for a bachelor party. Food wise, you're not going to run low. Yeah, I didn't really have anything other than the little fleet. That's all I knew of it really, but yeah, very cool.
Well, so I know you were on a work trip. I don't know um, how rowdy it was getting, but did you guys hit any like nightlife or any bars?
We didn't as much, which I wish I did. After my research, there's some really cool nightlife out there.
Yeah, well, so I mean that was, I guess, an
It's quieter
interesting
though.
point. Yeah, yeah, I was thinking it seemed like there were a few, kind of two that seemed to be popping up, or Dillingers and bootleggers. It seemed like that was kind of like some more of the younger, livelier crowds.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
so I had Dillingers and Bootleggers for the younger crowd. Seven Monks is
yep.
like a young professional, and then Kilkenny's is also like a younger professional bar. But then there's
Okay.
other bars that are like dive bars, and then like a dance bar is Sidetracks,
Ooh. Okay.
and then the last one I have. I know I kind of stole this from you,
No
but
worries.
there was the Coin Slot, which is like a bar and club, and then it's got slot machines like bordering it all.
Oh, nice,
Yeah,
nice.
kind of cool.
Um, yeah. I mean, I guess gambling must obviously be legal there, but
Yeah, there's
like
there's a really nice casino there too in Traverse City.
I did hear there's kind of like there's two bigger ones, right?
Dude, okay,
Um, I saw Turtle Creek Casino,
yeah,
which is, from what it seemed, more of like the party entertainment kind of one, and then the
mm,
Lilanu Sands. Hopefully, I'm saying that correctly, but that would have been more your quieter, just like strictly gambling, typical casino floor type of thing.
okay. I didn't hear about the second one. I just heard about the first one in my research. But yeah, it's definitely legal there, which is pretty cool. Did you have any other bars that were notable?
No, yeah, I mean, you touched on a couple that I had.
Okay, sorry,
Let's
stealing
see.
them.
No, 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 worked out. Oh, a low bar. That seemed like um, it was near that Seven Monks tap room. Did you
Okay,
mention that Seven Monks?
I
Oh,
said
okay.
Seven Monk, yeah, but
Yeah.
I didn't say
So
low bar.
it's right next to that, I guess, but it's like a speakeasy vibe. And I'm still working on a better name for speakeasy. I know we talked about that in one of the
Yeah.
previous episodes, but it's still thinking about it.
Well, yeah. If anybody else has recommendations of what a speakeasy that's not so speakeasy should be called, let us know.
Yeah, I'm struggling a little bit. I'll be honest there.
What did they say in How I Met Your Mother? Like the puzzle bar? Because then everybody's just gonna ask about it. Like, why is it
I
called
don't know.
puzzles? That's the
That's
puzzle.
funny. That's great.
Yeah,
I don't know that one. Oh, that's good.
that's the puzzle. Well,
Uh,
yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I had for nightlife in Traverse City. It's kind of a quieter one, I think.
yeah, that's really what it seemed from my end too. I do have one other question from somebody who has been there. In terms of, it seems like it's very, at least like the city itself, very compact. So I was kind of wondering, is that more walkable? Do they have bikes? What did you kind of do? You need a car really
Yeah.
if you're going to be in the city?
If you're gonna be in this city, no. You can walk everything. It stretches along for a bit, but you can walk it. When you're gonna need a car is when you're going to the wineries and stuff, because that's they've got their big open fields. Um, but for the most part, yeah, when you're there, you can walk everything.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool then. I do like that.
I like that a lot. I went to Westchester University, shout out, and I love that, all the bars in the city were right there and walkable from like campus. I know some of the bigger schools, it's like you have to take an Uber or you have to take cars because you can't walk it. I really like the aspect. You can just walk to where you want to go. in some of these like smaller towns and cities. So that's cool.
Yeah, and it just takes out one piece of trying to figure out how to get to different places, especially if alcohol is going to be involved. That's um,
Hmm.
always nice option to be able to walk.
Definitely, definitely. Any other questions?
No, man, I think it was a kind of cool interview. I know we didn't have anybody formally lined up this time, but I think it worked out pretty well. Let us know your feedback to the viewers and listeners. Um, but yeah, I love to hear kind of where you're at on the whole with everything in terms of Traverse City.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it a lot. So, it is very seasonal, which makes it a little tougher. And but it's safe. It's clean waters. It's there are things to do. I think the group that would go well with this is people that like to maybe like dine in nicer things kind of thing. Like I would rent the boat. I would do probably a brewery tour or a wine tour, and then then you're probably maybe going out to a bar and then heading home a little bit early kind of thing. So it might be more of that. We're gonna get our drink on during the day, have a great time, spend some time by the water, and then maybe another bar, nicer dinner probably. So it's kind of that maybe like I'm gonna say probably 30 year olds bachelor parties. That's where you're going. Dude, I'm not that far off from 30, 5 years away from 30. Talking like it's a different whole nother species, but it's what am I saying out
I
here?
was like,
But
be careful what you wish for, man.
yeah.
We just asked to have some dads on in Father's Day in the last episode.
Very
We
true. Very
can't be making
true.
anybody too upset here.
Very true. Well, yeah, maybe that older crowd. I'll just say then. This might be where you want to go. So, all in all, taking in everything that we just said about it, I'm gonna put it at. You're gonna hate me going six flat.
All right, say 6.0, and then everybody knows that you know what you're talking about.
6.0. Yeah,
Oh, perfect, intelligent rating right there.
that's what I meant. Six flat. Yeah, no, 6.0. 6.00.
Oh, adding another level of specificity.
Yeah, just to make sure it's really understood. Yeah. All right, so
That's
let's hear
great.
yours. Like, what are you feeling about it? What'd you like? What
Yeah,
didn't you like? And give me your rating.
yeah, for sure. Um, I'll just say that I'm very close to where you're at right there. Um, Pros, right? I think just looking at it, I'm sure you can attest to it too. It just seems super, like so beautiful. The nature, um, being by overlooking the lake, I
Gorgeous.
think it looked so gorgeous, and that's really cool. Unique experience. Definitely more for the chill, a little bit more classier kind of vibes. You mentioned it's walkable. We found out it's pretty safe, so those are definite positives, and also pretty budget friendly. It seemed. So whether that be you want to end up splurging on a boat like you were mentioning, or just keeping it a little more budget friendly overall, you have those options. Um, I think in my mind it kept coming back to like this seems like a really cool like family vacation spot. You mentioned like an older crowd bachelor party also seems like a good way to sum it up. But I'd love to go visit this place. I don't know if it necessarily is a bachelor party destination in my mind. Um,
Hmm.
like the nightlife is just not quite there. Very mild on that setting, it seems. Um, the small town vibe is what I was getting from it. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it seemed very wholesome, rustic, kind of almost touristy in like a boutique way, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but
No, I think you're pretty good from what I understood too. I think you're pretty good.
yeah. The seasonal pricing, I heard that some things can get jacked up in the summer. guess that's to be expected if there's one travel season versus not.
And that's what they
Um,
rely on.
yeah, so I can't fault them too much there. But the last point here I just want to bring is about the location, right? Um, it's kind of out a little bit far away from anything else, so I think that this can be a pro and a con. Um, I think that it's not super easily accessible if you're not from Michigan or that area.
Hmm.
But on the flip side of that, I think that this is a very good option if you're from anywhere within the lower peninsula of Michigan, from like the middle of that area up north. It seems like it might be like one of the better options for a bachelor party. So a little long-winded there, but all that to say, I'm going to give it a 5.9 out of 10. So
Ah, we're
I was
right
right
there.
there with you. Yeah. Um, it's probably not my ideal one, especially since I would have to be traveling from a far distance away, but I totally can understand someone who is close to that area why they would want to go there.
So last week you gave the Poconos a 6.2, and now you're giving this one a 5.9. I think they're very different from each other, but I just want to hear kind of what makes the one a little bit better than the other, or like a little bit
Yeah.
worse, or.
Yeah. I guess the big thing for me, why the Poconos I had slightly higher, was um, the group friendly activities. I know you
Mm,
mentioned you did that like kayaking bike tour. But everything else, kind of my research, I wasn't seeing a lot of huge group activities. Whereas the Poconos, you had like the paintball and you had these um, kind of bigger scale things. I thought that that was
hmm.
a big point in my head. Um, I
Yeah.
guess the location too kind of played in both ways. Where Poconos, you're close to a lot of major cities, which maybe it brought it down there because you could have went to one of them. Versus
Hmm.
Traverse City, you're really not close to many other major cities. You're gonna have to drive pretty far or fly.
Hmm.
So
That makes sense.
local to that
Yeah.
area kind of boosted it up, I think.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
would you
Okay.
agree with that as someone who's been there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, on my rating, I did a 5.9 for Poconos and a 6.0
Oh yeah, you flipped
here.
them. So
I
let's.
flipped it.
What
Yeah.
is that? Why
So
did
that's
you
why.
put that?
Yeah. For what I saw was really that I think Traverse City, as much as it is more seasonal and then off season you don't have things to do, I think they really try to push everything. Everything's going to look really nice when you do go there. And like when you're off season, it might not be as fun, but when you're in season there, it's gonna be a lot more fun. The bars pick up a lot. Like from what I was found, the bars pick up a lot. The nightlife picks up like more when it's in season. So a bachelor party going there, I think you're going to experience the fun, everything that's fun the city has to offer. Where Poconos, it gets really drawn out, and the Poconos might not offer a whole lot where you travel to these different spots. But I think Traverse City has everything right there.
Okay.
So that was my kind of
I
flip,
mean,
but all in all, it was a point one difference for me. I think it's like again what we were saying. It's the right groups are going to find these great, either or. But I think it's not for everybody out there. But it's still really cool spots.
yeah, yeah. I like this too. Kind of branching out to a little more obscure areas. It's fun not only for us, but I hope maybe some of you out there, even if it's not somewhere that you think you want to go on a bachelor party, at least maybe you can learn about the city and find some cool, interesting facts about it.
Definitely. Well, I think that's a wrap on Traverse City.
All right, so in the spirit of the Fourth of July, we figure we might do a little fun segment here, right? We're talking baseball, we're talking hot dogs, apple pie, a specific car brand that won't be named because we're not sponsored, but the commercial names them all. Um, right? No, I just messing around here, but in the spirit of Fourth of July, we wanted to talk about some of the best cities to travel to, as well as some of the best firework locations. So, Bobby, I'll kick it over to you for the cities.
Absolutely. So this Fourth of July, some historical significance. You got Philly, Boston, and Washington D.C. I think for obvious reasons they got the historical significance. Also, a little history for you: Bristol, Rhode Island. is the first and oldest continuous celebration since 1785, continuing to this date.
Wow.
So very
Wow.
cool. Yeah. And then some also just really cool places to visit for 4th of July. If you're on a bachelor party, really cool. New York City, Nashville has the Let Freedom Sing with some live music for the celebration. And Gatlinburg, Tennessee has a midnight parade to kick it off and then a day full of celebrations. So there's some cool places to visit on a bachelor party from the 4th of July.
Yeah, yeah, and no surprise. So I was looking at the fireworks on my end, right? Washington D.C.,
Perfect.
Boston, Philadelphia. They all put on great shows, and rightfully so, right? The historical significance. Um, you
Boston's is
meant,
pretty cool, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, all of them got pretty
Yeah, yeah,
spectacular,
sure.
but they do it over the that Charles River there, I think.
And the barges, we get all the barges out there.
Yep, yep.
Nice.
So those are all amazing. I think New York City is going to top them from the fireworks perspective.
Mm,
That I think it's the Macy's Fourth of July fireworks. It's like the largest Independence Day show in the U.S. So
pretty
some I
cool.
saw like 60,000 shells or individual fireworks are shot off. I was like, that is incredible, just insane number of fireworks.
Awesome.
Um, Yeah, like you also mentioned Nashville. They got a good show there. Some others, I guess, maybe not specifically city-wise, but their shows are pretty incredible for fireworks shows. Um, Chicago, Illinois, their Navy Pier has a huge one that they put off. Um, there you go, there you go, representing.
Yes, sir.
Um, and the East Coast is doing it right for the Fourth of July, and like we talked about the significance, but the West Coast also representing here. San Diego, the Big Bay Boom has a huge show.
Ooh.
It sounds like they put on quite an event from a bunch of different barges out in the bay, as well as Seattle, Washington, over their Lake Union, and then I also saw Lake Tahoe and I guess also California and Nevada, but um, launching them from the lake and having that
Very
mountain
cool.
backdrop seemed pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I love to see every part of the U.S. taking part of the great celebration that the Fourth of July is.
You know, it's one that I was a little upset. I didn't hear anything about Texas on 4th of July.
Yeah, I know.
A little
I thought
upsetting.
they would have been a little up there, but
Yeah. But all in all, happy 4th of July, everybody. Go celebrate. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and thank you for listening.
have a good one. Have a ton of fun. Be safe. Um, make sure you have a couple drinks too. Have a good one. Thank you all.
Cheers.
It's the last hurrah before the big day. Stories run wild in the craziest way. From Vegas nights to the beach town vibes. We're laughing or party, you're in for a ride. Oh, oh, it's the last hurrah before the big day. Stories run wild in the craziest way. From Vegas nights to beach town vibes. We're laughing or party, you're in for a ride. Bachelor mayhem, city lights glow. Wild adventures, let the good times roll. Planning tips, crazy trips, we